What's happening, guys? This is Shukesh Bonik from Gadgets Portal, and today I have with me the two most hottest smartphones at this moment. On my right I have the latest of the Note series, that is the Note 3, with remarkable features, and the price at this moment is around 44,000 rupees, that is 730 USD. This is the latest Galaxy S5 with 48,000 rupees price tag, that is around 800 USD. So the price difference is quite close, and it's really very hard to decide in between these two smartphones, mainly because these two are from the same company with the exact same design and interior, that is the software, the user interfaces also have lots of things in common. The only distinguishing feature on this Note 3 is the S Pen, which is the best thing Samsung has come out with so far. I'll talk about that later on in this review and also come to my verdict. Now, first of all, the bezel on both of these smartphones are almost similarly wide, but because of the larger screen on the Note 3, the bezel seems quite narrow on the Note 3. Overall, the front look of Note 3 is somewhat better than the S5's. At the back, you will find fake leather-like texture on both of these smartphones, but the texture is completely different. You will get fake stitching at the edges of the Note 3's back as well. On the S5, you will get something new, something quite beautiful. From different angles, the back actually glows with creamish color, and overall I liked this new design from Samsung. Now, the thickness of these smartphones are very close, and the location of the keys are also almost same. Overall, I can say that this S5 and Note 3 are similar by around 90% on the exterior design. Now let's talk about what are the basic differences, and first of all, at the front you will get a fingerprint scanner on the new S5. At the back there is also a heart rate monitor, which is first time on a smartphone. You have to just place your finger here and the phone can tell you about your heart rate. Next, on this new S5, Samsung has replaced the menu key with an app switcher. That's why you will get the menu options on screen, but you can also press and hold this button to get the menu option. On the Note 3, as you know, you have to just press and hold on this home key to get this app switcher. Another notable thing is the IP67 certification of the new S5, that is, the S5 is now water and dust resistant. Next, the Wi-Fi on the new S5 supports MIMO connection, that is, you can download using Wi-Fi and LTE connection simultaneously to get the maximum downloading speed. Next, let's talk about the significant similarities in between these two phones, and though the dimension of the display on the new S5 is quite smaller compared to Note 3's, the display resolution is exactly same, that is Full HD, but from a normal distance you can barely notice any difference. The brightness of the new S5 is quite good, and the color reproduction is also more natural, less punchy, and looks quite smooth. So I'll go for S5 in the display department. Next, both of these smartphones feature USB 3.0 port and 4K recording with the back camera. In the software department, you will find lots of similar features like the Smart Stay, Smart Pause, Smart Rotate, etc. Though the Smart Scroll has been removed. The S Finder is basically a feature directly borrowed from Note 3. You must be familiar with the one-handed operation on the Samsung smartphones, which was first seen on the Note 3, but on the new S5 you will get much more options, much more settings. For example, you can resize this window and you will get options for putting your favorite settings or favorite contacts. You can obviously edit this list. You will get all the hardware keys as well, so in this way you can efficiently use this huge display smartphone. So though the display of Note 3 is huge and not easily accessible with one hand, you can minimize the display and make the display of both of the smartphones same sized. Now guys, the interface on the new S5 is somewhat different from the typical TouchWiz interface you used to see on the Note 3, S4, S3, etc. You will get these flat tiles on the app switcher and also some flat icons on the notification panel. The settings menu has also gone flat, and I really appreciate this type of changes. You can get back the list view of the settings you used to see, and the home screen transition effects are also customizable. So the S5's user interface is quite customizable and also looks fresh. Now the interface on the new S5 feels quite smooth, but regarding the speed and the time taken for opening applications and games, I think Note 3 is somewhat faster. Though Note 3 is around 5 months older than this S5, the CPU, GPU, etc. are almost same, and you can see that the interface on the Note 3 is noticeably faster than S5. Let me show you the gallery. The camera also opened faster on the Note 3. Now this S Pen is the signature feature of this Note 3. You can get lot more settings, lot more options with it. For example, here on this air command wheel you get 5 options. With the action memo you can take notes anywhere, anytime, and you can also perform some specific task. For example, you can call right away from here, and you can also search on the web, send messages, emails, etc. Another great feature Galaxy S5 lacks is this pen window. You can launch these applications anywhere, anytime, just with a small loop, and this is quite handy because you don't have to close the applications you are using. There are a few shorthand tricks as well. For example, you can just double tap on the screen while holding the S button and you can get this action memo. Pressing and holding the S button and making a loop will crop out any part of the screen. There are basically hundreds of features I can show you with this S Pen. I suggest you to watch the tips and tricks reviews on this Note 3 in my channel. You can find a link in the description below as well. You can take screenshot just by pressing and holding the S button and also pressing on the screen. You can now write on the screen, annotate, and you will get the features of the amazing S Note as well. Above all, the writing experience with this S Pen is just fantastic. This is the fastest and the easiest way of writing, and you can apply lots of gestures as well. While hovering the S Pen over any writing window, you can get this pop-up window for writing with this S Pen. So the features you are getting with this S Pen are making this Note 3 much more attractive, much more feature rich compared to the S5. Now on this new S5, Samsung has introduced some cool features which are not only fancy but also quite handy. For example, with this quick connect you can send files to other devices automatically which are paired with this device. You don't have to turn on the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi of that device. The most interesting feature is the power saving mode. You are getting the power saving mode on the Note 3 as well, but on the S5 you can turn the display to grayscale, and even with this ultra power saving mode you can get a different type of interface with very few options. This is the interface I'm talking about, and you can see that with only 50% battery you can get 6.2 days of battery backup. So this is a great feature by Samsung on this new S5. Samsung has introduced a kids mode on this S5 as well, which will password lock your personal data and also bring a kids friendly interface. Well guys, let's talk about the hardware specs, and first of all let's compare the RAM on these devices. On the new S5, Samsung has put only 2 gigs of RAM, and the free RAM for the user is very low. On the Note 3 you will get 3 gigs of RAM, and the free RAM is, as you can see, very good for a device in this category. But hardcore gaming on this new S5 is not an issue. You can play almost all the hardcore games on this S5 without any lag, just like this Note 3. In fact, the GPU is exactly same Adreno 330 on both of these smartphones, and the CPU is also the same Crate 400, though the speed is 2.5 GHz quad-core on the S5 and 2.3 GHz quad-core on the Note 3. The benchmark results are also quite close, so considering the price and the display size, Note 3 is a better phone to buy. Also, don't forget about the versatile S Pen. The front look of S5 is also not as good as Note 3, and the new features Samsung has brought into this S5 are though quite handy but not that much groundbreaking compared to the previous devices from Samsung. If you don't mind the large dimensions of Note 3 and want a fast phone with great features and the amazing S Pen, you should go for this Note 3. Due to the water resistance, the microphone as well as the speaker on the S5 are also not that much good, and the dimensions are also quite large for a device with this display size. The good things about S5 are the battery backup is quite good, and the camera is also noticeably better compared to Note 3. The display is also brighter and not huge, so you can use that with one hand, unlike this Note 3. So it's now your decision which one you should go for. That's all in this review guys. You can check the description below for more videos on these devices, and it will be great if you subscribe as well. You can check my Facebook page, facebook.com/gadgetsportal, for some camera samples, and also my YouTube channel, youtube.com/gadgetsportal, play for Android and Windows Phone games and applications. So that's all for now guys. Thanks for watching and keep in touch.